Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Yo, what is going on? Yo, I'm here, man. I am here. Man, I love doing this show, man. I love doing this podcast. I love just speaking to the people. I'm speaking to you guys, and you're tuning in, and I thank you, everyone that tunes in to check out GCOM Radio. I am your host, Nova Phoenix, the host of GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. And we're here another week, another day, another opportunity to really, have a conversation with you guys on what tickles my fancy, on what's going out in the world, everything related to Lyfeblood.com, everything related to every one of us in the four corners of the earth. So yeah, man, I'm back with it. I'm gonna give some music. I'm not gonna give I'm not giving bullshit with you guys. I didn't even really have time to really get some music. I'm gonna take my time to play some older joints that I played before, and just so if you haven't heard it before, you're gonna hear it now, and it's beautiful. And I'll choose my selection of tunes that I really dig. So. Yeah, man, let's get this rocking and rolling, man. We got a lot to do, and I'm not gonna bullshit y'all. I got a lot to say, I guess. All right, so what is the deal? Let's start this opening mentions. So first and foremost, I like to send my condolences to DMX and his family. As everybody knows at this point, DMX overdosed on some drugs, and it caused a heart attack, and now he's in a White Plains hospital. Trying to recover. There was some news that came out to say that he was off of the machine and he was breathing on his own, but then another report came out later saying that that's not the case, and unfortunately he is not doing well. They're saying that he's in a vegetative state, and man, I mean, wow, to start out the show like this. I love DMX. I want to shout out my man. Everything that the music that he made and what he represented, the good and the bad, that people, the things that they agree with and things that they did disagree with DMX. But the thing is with DMX, he can only show his truth, and that was his truth, man. And either you accepted it or you didn't. And this man had such energy, and it's just sad that he had demons, or he has demons, and he couldn't really shake it. And I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a later segment. But I give all prayers and good energy to X's family and him, and that he can recover out of this, and hopefully this is a wake up moment. And that brother was struggling all his life, even every time that I did see him, and he was going through a lot of pain. And man, I feel for the brother. So I'm sending all the good energy, and I'm sure everyone is sending good energy too, because they definitely came out to that White Plains hospital. And by the time this comes out, I really do hope that this brother comes out of this, man. As far everything is going on, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Much love to DMX. All right, so Hertz, I think Hertz, man, filed Chapter 11. The funny thing is, the last weekend, I was actually, I was riding in my wife, talking with her and everything like that. We were just talking about how, COVID has changed so many things. And one thing it did change was, we kind of was talking in the conversation, like, hey, how's it going with this car rental thing? And, she looked online just for shits and giggles to see how these rental companies are doing. She was like, gas. I'm like, what happened? She just gasped, like, my God. I'm like, what? She was like, To rent a car now on a weekend, typically it would cost like $200. Typically, you know what I mean? Now car rental places are charging double that, 400 and change. Yo, and that is what they're doing to kind of deal with, less people driving. Of course, more people are home, more people are zooming for from a place to place. Less people driving. So now they're trying to make up for the losses that they're suffering from. But damn, I don't know who's ever gonna rent a car for $400. I mean, goddamn. So the funny thing is, we did talk about that, and then I was looking online, and as I read, and then guess what? Hertz is filing Chapter 11. So in the whole process of them filing for Chapter 11, they got a couple of different company or firms to support them. Centerbridge Partners, Warburg Pincus, and Dundon Capital Partners to provide the equity capital required to fund the car rental company's exit from Chapter 11. So they're trying to get out of it, and they got a few of these firms to come and assist them in trying to keep them afloat. And actually, I forgot the name of the company that's actually, or the firm that's holding majority stake in Hertz. But look at that. I mean, this is what happens with COVID, and I'm sure Hertz is not going to be the only company that's in dire straits financially. But who the hell is going to be renting a car for $400, double the price? People ain't doing that. You're only encouraging people to sit home and use Zoom even more. If your boss telling you they got to drive to this place and do whatever business or whatever, the only thing I can say is on a personal level, if you want to see family or friends, you can still Zoom there. But if you got to see family, you're going to be like, let me rent a car. You know what I mean? Not rent a car. Let me use my own personal car. Yeah, even if I got a lease, I'll deal with it later. But damn, $400. Yeah, whatever. They're not getting any of my money. They're not getting any of my money. That's nuts. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other car rental companies going to come out with filing Chapter 11. There's just a lot of things with COVID that's really changing. Like for instance, it's just not car companies, but think about it. If most companies are telling their people, say in Manhattan, of course I'm from New York, they're telling their employees to stay home, or for the companies that are bringing their employees back, they're not going to be holding leases for much long. They're either locked into their lease, they're trying to get out of it, or they're waiting for it to expire. Listen, COVID let the cat out the bag, as I said before, and employees are staying home. If they could tell her, all these companies are saying, wait a second, you mean I could get employees to stay home and I could cut out millions of dollars in this leasing contract? How do we get out of this? Like I said, these companies are not playing no games. If a company can figure out how to shave off millions of dollars in order to save money, they will. They will. And right now, COVID kind of let the cat out the bag. And we always used Zoom pre-COVID, and it was kind of like a novelty to people, and it was kind of cool. It was catching on slow. But when COVID hit, people looked at Zoom and was like, yeah, we're zooming this up. And now that everybody sees that, business can still run the same way pre-COVID, yeah, man. Certain things are not coming back, man. And COVID let us know that. And it's not just the employees at these buildings are not coming back, and companies trying to get out of their lease contracts. But imagine the corner stores in Midtown Manhattan, in Lower Manhattan, that made money off of all of these employees that would come into the office. I'm also talking about not convenience stores, but the little stores that are in the lobbies of these huge high-rise buildings. That's where they got all their money from. People going to lunch, people going to breakfast, the small stores or the restaurants on the street, 2 blocks over, 5 blocks over. A lot of people, when I used to work in the city, there was just a 4-block radius where you would walk to in order to get your lunch, or a place that you would walk past to get your breakfast on the way to work. Now with all these people staying home, that's the collateral damage. The collateral damage are all these small mom and pop joints that made their money off of people going to the office. Now that doesn't exist anymore, man, I feel bad for these people. So in a lot of times, in a lot of ways where we think, COVID was like a blessing in disguise, I don't think we're looking at the big picture here, man. A lot of smaller mom and pop joints are going to be suffering. They're not opening, and man, it's sad. It's really sad. I'm like, damn, what about them? What about, the food delivery people? They can't work anymore. The chefs, the shorthand cooks, the owners of these businesses, all of these people are just going to have to figure out how to transition to something else. And again, this is how Lyfeblood works in this particular situation. With it COVID, and if you build up your names, as I say, or your business, and all of a sudden situations like this happen, and they don't, this is a once in a lifetime thing. But anytime where you suffer financially and you're a lifer, and then you can get help from your network that you build up over time, sharing and hey, I'm going through a tough financial time. Can people help me by just giving us $1 a month? And if you have 10,000 people in your network, just imagine people really connecting with you and say, sure, man, we understand what's going on here. Hopefully this can be what you need in order to keep your business open until things come back to some sort of semi-normality, or maybe transition out of the business you're in, because it's just COVID has really kind of hit hard and your business is not coming back, and you can use that money and say, you know what, here's my opportunity to kind of segue into this direction, and maybe that $10,000 can go into training programs or something like that, just to give you, so you don't suffer from your business closing, and you have a family to feed. So it's man, it's so messed up, man. The Chauvin trial, man. The Chauvin trial is still ongoing, and my cat is a curious cat. I'm watching this dude right now. He's trying to get into the garbage. No, kitty, no. Anyway, the Chauvin trial is still ongoing. Let me tell you, all the officers are turning their back on this dude. Where you thought that officers in the past was giving support to whoever was on trial, this time around, everybody is jumping ship. They ain't trying to. Every officer in that PD is like, oh, he did the wrong procedure. He should not supposed. He killed. That dude is a dead man walking, because ain't no cop supporting this dude. Not to say, let's think about it. Not to say they ain't into some effery themselves. Now, the prosecution, they're seeking old cam footage of Chauvin using the same neck method against a 17-year-old kid years ago. And they're in the midst of trying to get that footage. Now, if this is true, all those officers were aware that he did this, and this was a common method, or I don't want to say technique, or way of trying to quote unquote subdue the quote unquote perp, and they said nothing before because cameras and the world wasn't watching. So if this footage of him doing this neck press with his knee on this 17-year-old exists, all of them are guilty, and the only reason why they letting this dude drown is because the world is watching. So we'll see how this this dude's gonna catch it, man, at the fullest extent of the law. And if he does it, man, America never learns, because it's a sad cycle, and America is gonna catch on fire again if they don't get this right. Next thing, who's watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man? Yo, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yo, this is, man, the last episode, last Friday, oh, man, it was so dope, with Zemo and with, of course, the Winter Soldier, and them trying to figure out, who the power broker is, man. I love this show. I love it. To tell you the truth, I'm liking it more than WandaVision. The writer, let me tell you, this last episode, if you haven't seen it, please go see this joint. Now, the reason why I felt this last episode so hard, because the movie screenwriter is Derek Chauvin. That's a guy that he did. He's doing a recent movie now called Nobody. It's starring Robert John Odenkirk. He played Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad. and he did the other movies from before. Oh my God, oh my God, I can't remember the last time. What's the movie with Keanu Reeves? Oh man, I can't remember. He did. You know what I'm talking about, y'all. I want to check this out. Keanu movies. So because I have to say it. John Wick. He did the John Wick movies. I'm like, what? No wonder this episode is so good. Let me tell you, man. The cinematography, even from the first episode, the guest appearances. Of course, I'm not gonna tell if you haven't seen it yet. I'm not gonna blow it up. This last guest appearance is like, yo, oh my God. And Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, man, they have such great chemistry together, man. They have such great. The timing is on. It's like they've known each other. Well, I guess you can say they've known each other for a long time and kind of got familiar with each other's timing when it comes to their craft. Because you know what, they've been working together since Winter Soldier, I'd say. Yeah, man. So of course. But they have great chemistry, man. I love this show. And if you haven't seen the latest episode, if you haven't seen any of the episodes, I encourage y'all to check out Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Great work. I want to see how this kind of translates into the big screen. Yeah, man. What else is going on? Yo, companies are taking a stand against the Georgia anti-voting bill. Yo, crazy. Yo, let's give it up one time. Hand clap to all those individuals, those public figures, the activists that kind of got Coca-Cola and Delta and MLB, put the pressure on them to come forward to say that they're against what's going on with these anti-voting bills by the governor and every Republican in Georgia that's really trying to put together these draconian laws and to keep people. And it's funny, right? You would think that the Republicans will say, you know what, maybe we should just open this up and be more inclusive, that in ways to expand our voting base, and you know, we can stand our point, stick to our points, but you know, maybe we need to change up our game plan a minute. Nope. Yo, these Republicans is standing on hard on white supremacy. He's like, nah, we ain't doing that. We keeping America the way it should be. We're holding tight. We ain't going nowhere. So yeah, man, it's the United States versus America is folks that want to keep old America the way it was, and there are folks that want to move forward and recognize the issues of this country and say, hey man, the only way we get through this if we take one step forward and handle our issues, and we do it together. But you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. United States versus America. Which one are you? What side are you on? Now, all the things, I even have my thing, especially how I feel. And let me not say my thing, my suspicions, to be more detailed in what I'm about to say. My suspicions and how, what's his name? The guy from DC movie. What's the actor name that plays Cyborg? Now, he had some issues with Ray Fisher. He has some issues with Joss Whedon and with the director, I guess he's a writer, the head writer of DC. His name is Jeff Johns. And he has some issues. Of course, he's saying some racism, la. And of course, there's some accusations getting thrown around. And Walter Hamada didn't really want to deal with it, because I guess he was like, man, I got my own things. I got my own problems, whatever. And, you know, he didn't really want to deal with it. And then when Zack Snyder comes out with his piece and you see the uncut raw, you see how much Joss Whedon changed around and really clipped out all the POC, all the black folk, all the POCs out of this movie. And not just Cyborg. And Cyborg was the heart of this film, man. And you got to keep it real. Like, man, if Joss Whedon is like this, it makes me think. And, you know, all these issues that was going on with the Zack Snyder universe, DC universe, and how he left all these open roads for a continuation of the Zack Snyder DC universe, and WB is not going for it. That just makes me think. Sometimes when you think it's just people have a difference of opinion, when it comes to the job, it just makes you think sometimes, especially in these times, and I gotta say with Trump, how much of it is really not just a difference in opinion and how you operate in your field, in your business, but how much of it is your personal differences politically and what you think and socially. You know, how much of this friction is developed because you're pro-Trump and you're anti-Trump. And that's kind of like the underlying factor that's really driving the conflict in these situations. Because it seems like Zack Snyder is very open to have an inclusive cast with Ray Fisher and everyone there, and then you have the other side that clipped out everybody and was like, nope, we're not doing that. So it just makes you think like how much. Maybe it's not about, oh man, he wakes up too late, or I don't like the way he puts together his films artistically. Or maybe it's more like, I know what you're trying to do, and you're telling in the way you tell this movie that you're anti-Trump. And there are a lot of pro-Trump agents that are floating around here that, you know, they were like, I don't like you. You know what I mean? And they're going to come up with other reasons or excuses that kind of cut them out the picture. So it makes me think. Because the WB is doing so many things, as far as the executives, the suits are doing so many things that's like, they just don't want to hear Zach. I mean, how much of it is this beef, and how much of it is just like, we don't like the direction you're going in, Zach. We're taking another, and they could shot, and all that siding with Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and everything is going on that happened with Ray Fisher. I'm like, it makes you think, and I'm not in those circles, so I don't know. So that's interesting. Anyway, hey, please, if anybody that works in Hollywood that could kind of give those little details that nobody else knows because they're standing next to these people, please holler at me, please. I mean, I would love to know. And I would love to know we could get to know the suits' names, because I know I just call them suits, but you know, I can't just say that these indiscriminate people with no faces. No, we know the direct people in line that's running the offices of the WB. I'll probably do a little Google search and see who these names are, but yeah, just to put a face to all this craziness. All right, so what's the next thing? Police Commissioner Shea, man, from the Police Commissioner of New York, the NYPD, has problems with New York legalizing weed. He says what people are doing now is just not right, and people will be smelling weed outside during parades and such, and that's not what people like, and it's going to be a growing problem, and all that shit that Police Commissioner Shea is talking about. Come on, bruh. Police Commissioner, listen, people been smoking outside. The people that smell it ain't calling the cops. People ain't calling the police if they smell weed in their hallway outside. We know what weed smell like. We just not calling the cops. Now, what you really want to say is, damn, how do we catch these niggers and spics with something that's convenient for us so we can lock them up? That's what you really want to say. Damn, now what we gonna say so we can get in their car and search it illegally? Can't do it by the smell of weed anymore. Shit, well, let me see. So let's keep it real, man. Police Commissioner Shea, man, what you really want to do is, now you don't have something that you can just take a whiff by someone's car and say, hey, let's search this car. There's some drugs in here. I smell. Give me a break, man. Shut the fuck up, man. That shit is wild, man. I mean, man, I'm glad that shit is legal. Yo, people do what they want. Now, I'm hearing little things going around of people that somebody is saying, here on the internet, oh my God. They think it's some kind of conspiracy to get people all, to legalize weed to get people high, and it's not right for the conscious community to smoke weed, and it's just, oh my, yeah, listen, people, when you smoke weed, it's the same thing like drinking. There's the right way of drinking, and there is the abusive way of drinking. You're not supposed to drink when you're on the job. You're not supposed to drink 2:00 in the morning on a work night to get up in the morning. People are going to smell. Now, are you drunk on the job? But no, if the liquor is oozing out of your pores and people can smell it in the office, you look stupid. You look crazy. All right. Not just for, not saying that's illegal, but it looks like you have a problem. So you have to figure out the best way where you can regulate what you do when you smoke. Now, of course, if I smell weed on somebody, it's not a big deal for me. I'm like, okay, even if it's in a work setting. Are you coming in high and messed up and hot out of your brain? You can't really function, and you think your computer screen is a touch screen. You keep on hitting it. It's like, how come this is not working? Okay, there is a problem. All right, but weed is gonna be legal. We're all adults. We know what to do. You want to do what you do it on your own time. The only thing that now I'm questioning, they have to think of an instrument that's very sensitive, where it can, like, just like when it comes to liquor, right? If you drink liquor the night before and you wake up 2 days before and you did your thing, you did a bender, I'm like, oh my God, and then you coming into work on Monday, people know you're not going to be drunk. If you drink right before you drive, of course, we know the blood alcohol level, when they test it, we know there's a certain limit that you can't reach or you're considered legally drunk, right? But it's not the same as weed. What instrument are you going to use that's sensitive enough to know? Because even though it's legal, there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to disagree with people smoking, and you can't do it on the job. There's going to be ways where they're going to make sure that you're not abusing this drug. Alcohol is a drug now. It's no different. Weed is a drug, right? So you're not abusing it and really going to do something stupid. You're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, or the worst case scenario, kill someone. So what instrument or device can be used that's sensitive enough to say, all right, we know you just smoked weed an hour ago, as opposed to what it is if you smoked it 12 hours ago? So that's a question that, I'm talking with folks on once they do legalize weed. How is that actually going to work itself out when it comes to companies that want to regulate, or police, quote unquote, how employees are really dealing with this weed thing when it deals with their workspace. So yeah, that's the thing. And please, and I don't know, and here's the other thing: as adults, we know a lot of people are working home. And I know what people are gonna do when they legalize weed, and everybody is telecommuting or teleworking, right? You're gonna smoke your joint or whatever. You're gonna do your thing. You're gonna be high as hell, and then you're gonna get on camera on Zoom, and then you think you're gonna be able to do your job. No, people are gonna know when you're high. Okay, so you can't be I just say, hey, look at that. Come on, don't do this. We're adults now, right? We're grown up. So don't smoke your shit, all right? Right before you get on TeleZoom and your eyes is bloodshot red and you're trying to go through the quarterlies in front of everybody on Zoom. Please, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Come on. It looks silly. You can't control yourself. It looks unprofessional. Please, man. If you're doing your thing, you do your thing. That's your business. But when you get on Zoom and you're running a meeting and you got to go through your slides, don't do it and you just smoke the purple derples. You know what I mean? And that thing is taking you to cloud 17 and you have no idea what you're doing on Zoom, okay? So please, regulate your shit. The last thing, last but not least, Sade. Oh my God. Sade has a box set that's being released. Sade? Yes. Oh my God, Sade. It's almost like Patty, man. It's almost like, when I see Patty, I'll be like, Patty! 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 Screaming for Patty because Patty is all good love, man, because I love me some Patty LaBelle. So it's almost like Sade. It's up there. Sade is up there, man. Up there. But there's a special place in my heart where I scream Patty, especially when she got a sweet potato pie, Patty. And especially when Patty was on Versus. Yes, Patty. Love me some Patty. But Sade, yo. Sade is another spot, you know what I mean, in my heart. Sade got a box set being released called This Far for $200. All her albums. Oh my Yo, oh man, where is Sade, man? Where is she? Oh my God, I love me some Sade. Love me some Sade. Man, I play her albums all the time. I play the best of. I love me some Sade, the group. What's a Sweet Honey on the Rock? That's Sade's group, Sweet Honey in the Rock. Oh man. Oh yeah, and Sweet Honey in the Rock. Oh man. Dude, what is up with Sade, man? Oh, am I right? Let me see if I am right. Sade's group, Sweet Honey in the Rock, Old Man African. Is it right? Am I right? Oh man, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know. I Sade's band. Let me see if that comes out. Sade's band. Oh, Sade's band. Oh, so help me out here. Maybe they play with Sade, Sweet Honey in the Rock, but I don't see if that's like her main band. Okay, so 1990, Sweet Honey in the Rock. Let me see. I see here. I got Sweet Honey in the Rock. And I don't see anything with shot. I'm pretty sure that Sweet Honey in the Rock is the group. Anyway, so yeah, I'll look for it later. But maybe she toured with them, and they was rocking with Sade for a second. But I could swear I don't. Anyway, let me not hold you guys up. All right, so yeah, so her joint called This Far, and I don't know, it's on pre-order. I'm gonna see what I gotta do something, and this is Sade. I gotta do something with that and hold on to this joint. But yeah, it's coming out soon. Just Google it. This Far, Sade, I do. Yeah, man. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, I'm gonna just surprise me and you both. on some records that we played in the past, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So enjoy this one or two tunes. We'll be back with a second segment. All right, peace.
iHeartRadio.
Yo, it's mad squabbles. It's the art of boom back two. Love. I've been the illest in rap since lyricism collapsed. I'm the illegitimate villain who implemented the wrath. Mess around and cut your time short, the rarest kind. Fuck a paradigm on a divine course. Mind sort of sporadic, lines never short of elaborate. Once a sorcerer, now I've morphed with a dragon. More torturous patterns, caught you with the force of a phantom. Orbits are shattered, when I voice my thoughts it's a hazard. Don't approach me with no phony shit. My soul's equipped with a holy gift that only patrol the hoaxes who know we sick. Overdose on no potent scripts. I'm finna be giving you niggas the blues, I'm like a soulful cripple your vocal grip. Exceeding the bar set was never far-fetched. I crash dummies like a car wreck, making them all sweat, they all vexed. Constantly starving, I disregard rest. I'm a grade A instrumental killer, this a contest. Back on the hunt, emphatic as such. Don't ask me to spit for you, dog. I rap when I what? Listen, I got that boom bap in my veins, wrapped in my blood. And it's time to prove I'm not with the games, cancel the fun. I'm a freak of nature, for my keepsake I keep a piece of paper. Trying to stop me is like the magic, trying to beat the Lakers. Doctors treat your patience, I know these rappers are sick. Like Tupac in Malaysia, they can't believe I exist. This is the farthest from that auto-tune rap. This that hard to groom, horror tune, art of boom bap. Mixed with art of grooves, y'all abuse regardless who's whack. I'm in an awkward mood often, but my heart exudes facts. Why these frauds be calling audibles and start to lose track? I'm in a spar with all these stars consumed, the bars that lose slack. Slick with the words, the flow is causing y'all to move back. Missions deterred, bestowed upon this art-approved crack. The pusher, the peddler, the butcher that severed the record. The cook up the essence to look up, I had to perfect it. The rookie, the freshman mistook me for passive aggressive. To handle the pressure, I had to connect with the legends all the way. Directed the smarter way. Orlando, I chose to get the penny the harder way. Till I get to the Hall of Fame. Capture whoever new to the sound. If you ever doubted before, just know I'm proving it now, nigga.
Let's start from the beginning.
There's many, but nothing like this internet radio show.
Yeah, beat my frequency.
GCOM Radio.
Y'all know what's up.
A lot of things been going bad for a while now. Voices in my head telling me that I should stop now. And I've been trying to see why you shifted your energy. I could only hope that it's only me. It's like, should I leave? Do I pursue? Cause I'm getting distant vibes when I'm with you. Every time we go to dinner, you'll be acting different. Conversation short and you don't even listen. I guess that's the closure I needed, baby. We both can see how we hurt each other, baby. I love you no matter how bad this gets. We can mend it. If that's a part of your interest, and she said I love you, but I hate you too. You toxic for me, that's why I came with you. But then again, you're too good, just like an angel. You treat me just like you should. Sometimes it sounds way too good. Am I replaceable? This is GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a lifer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
Okay, y'all. Okay, we are back. All right, now. Yeah, man. So hopefully you love those tunes that I share with y'all. Please, I'll definitely have it in my IG description and other places. So please check out their IG pages, their social media. So help support them by their music. And you know what? Yes, I found out the name of Sade's band. Sade's band is called Sweetback. That's the name. I'm like, right. Now, Sweet Honey in the Rock, I know I've heard someplace in somewhere in my musical past, listening to music, hearing them, probably Grammys they've won a couple times, but it's a 24-woman group that, you know, they do a lot of different types of music genres. And you know what? I'm about it. I'm with it now. Now that I see Sweet Honey in the Rock, you know, now I got to listen to it to familiarize myself with this music. And I'm looking at their website, Sweet Honey Rock. It's got to be off the chain because I see all these beautiful black souls are really next to each other. Of course, it's mainly women. And I know they've had plenty of records released in the past. And why have I not gotten into their space, into their circles? I don't know. But I'm definitely going to check this out. I like their site, and I see here, yeah, beautiful sisters. And the brother, yeah, he's a guitarist. All right, so before we get into the segment of the show, we're gonna, you know what we gotta do. We're gonna go into business of the week, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. All right, so we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, for that girl.
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders. It's what you've been waiting for.
I've followed many beauty care companies, especially ones that focus on nail polish. However, I have not seen many nail polish companies that actually make their own colors in their home. Where some founders find suppliers for colors, this particular founder took the time to hand mix her own blend of colors and styles. Samantha Wechte Onyechi, the founder of Ooh Polish, I think that's how you pronounce it, has taken up, Samantha Wechte Onyechi, the founder of Ooh Polish, I think that's how you pronounce it, has taken her passion to the next level. The love of maintaining beautiful nails was passed down from her mother and aunt to her. Once she was allowed to get her full set, as they say, she had her own crazy way of finding all types of colors, weird and all. After some time, she slowly came to the realization that the nail colors didn't match skin tones. And guess what's next? She decided to make her own. By her own hand. At first, it was nude colors, and later she ventured out to create her own rainbow selection for every skin tone. It was during these moments she fell in love with the art of mixing. Along with the passions for nail colors, she's also fascinated by pre-colonial African history. These rarely told stories inspired her to name her colors according to past historical African figures and places. It's about serving these rich nail polish hues with a purpose as much as the names and the history attached to them. Lyfeblood.com would like to salute Mrs. Wechte Onyechi with her desire to make her own nail polish by hand and carry on African history through her passion. Let's be the bridge to generations beyond us. All right, now what's going on? Okay, so we're back. All right, so this segment too, man, this is kind of inspired by watching Daniel Kaluuya's monologue on Saturday Night Live. Shout out to Saturday Night Live, man. I've been watching in and out, of course, watching Saturday Night Live for years, man. I've been watching it since Steve Martin. Back in the day, that whole clan. From the 80s, Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Dana Carvey. Shout out to all these dudes, man. All these brothers is cool. I mean watching these dudes. What's that brother? Oh, man, I can't remember his name right now. The big guy, he died. Man, real talented guy, man. Yeah, I've been watching SNL for a long time. But yeah, so I'm in and out as of late. And Daniel Kaluuya was on over last weekend. And his monologue was hot. And then in his monologue, he mentioned that he's from Uganda. But of course, everybody knows he's British. But his family, his lineage is Ugandan. And he said his mother is one of 22 kids. That's a lot. That's a whole lot of kids. I mean, imagine trying to raise all them kids. Oh, man, at 22 kids, you started young. And the oldest, whatever they get, 18, they taking care of the middle, and the middle taking care of the young. Oh, my God, 22. You think that's something? The pops is one of 49. The grandfather was, Papa was a Rolling Stone. I tell you, boy, man, 49 kids. Oh, Jesus Christmas. That's a lot of children, man. That's a lot of children. Now, see, the thing is, it makes you like your eyes pop and your mouth gape. So it kind of like, wow, that's crazy. Some people might have a problem with that, especially in this Western society that we live in. And people are like, damn, how you bring up so many children? Like, this has got to be abuse. Because how you have so many kids, when do you have time to raise all these children? How are you working? How are you paying for this? This is child abuse to have so many kids. So I know that's going through your mind, especially with the pops of 49 kids. Man, that part, the grandfather, man, as soon as he hit puberty, he was having children. 16 or 15, I'm like, God damn, when do you have time to shoot out 49? Yeah. And can you think of the mother? I don't know if it all came from the same woman, but one of those women had more than 5. Can you imagine you popping out 10 kids? The woman, by the 8th kid, she must be, she don't need no doctor. She is scrunching down in the horse stands and shooting them kids out. She's like, get out of my way. I can do this myself. Breathe. Here. She been around the corner and back. She know how to do and work on the kids, man. Shit. Man, I tell you, she don't need no doula. She is her own doula. I tell you, boy. Man. So 49 kids. So you may think like, damn, how you do this? How do you have so many kids and raise them? I think life was different back in the day, man. I know life is different. At some point, like a long time ago, and it was never a thing to have too few children. It was encouraged actually to have a lot of kids because your children are your treasure. Having multiple kids because you want to make sure that you go out there and you populate the earth. And life had different rules. There wasn't such a concentration on money. Of course, the village or the community helped raise the children. It was just not something that was just for the mother or father to deal with. It was something that was more communal. The grandparents, and of course, if you had cousins and nephew and nieces, all of them took the role of helping to raise the smaller ones. So there wasn't this sense of individualism where you're on your own, you figure it out. And if you drop the ball, sucks to be you. It wasn't like that. There was no such thing as individualism. It was the family. It was the community. It was the nucleus of the family that raised the children. And then there was the other families that were within your neighborhood that helped raise the children with you. So there was never this attitude or this fear that your children would be left alone, hungry or malnourished, or I guess it's the same thing, malnourished or is without clothes or having company with others, by themselves, lonely. It was never like that. It's always this attitude of this belief that the community took care of each other. You took care of each other, especially from things that were happening that didn't quite with conflict. I say internal conflict, and you also protected each other from even outside enemies. So there's never this idea that you were alone. Everybody played a part in raising the children and ultimately raising the health or taking care of the health of the greater community. So 49 children was never something that was ever looked down upon or risky for the community. And it wasn't this idea of money as how we understand money today, the way we look at money. Because now, of course, when we have children, we put a price, we literally and figuratively put a price tag on children. Because that's the deciding factor if we're going to have less children or more in this hyper-capitalist society. A lot of people wait until later in life when they're grades to have children. A lot of people say, wait a second, I can do max 2 kids. I can't do 5 and 6 because they all have to go to school. They all have to wear clothes. They all have to be fed. And all these things are factors in what it is to raise children. Let me tell you, I have one, and to me, it's expensive. And in looking through the lens of the capitalist society that we exist in today, without a doubt, I'm not saying wrong or right. What I'm saying is this is the social structure that we live in, okay? Where we money is what we use to grease the wheels, the machine, and we use it to get food and clothes and even the luxuries. This is what it is. So a lot of times we look at children as, okay, how much is this going to cost me? Now, not everyone does that. There are a lot of people that have kids anyway, and to me, when I see like I'm not gonna say from any particular race of people and ethnicity. I say this: when I see mothers walking with a baby carriage, a double baby carriage, a kid on the left, a kid on the right, and a kid in front of them with the strap to the mother's chest, I'm like, God damn! And the father's walking next to him. I'm like, yo, where you? I have to think. I'm like, wait, you take care of all these kids? Like, who's feeding them? See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is how our brains operate in the society that we live in. We automatically put a price tag on children. And then when it gets to the point when we do the numbers, then we get into, man, is this abusive? Are they being irresponsible parents for having so many children and not being able to take care of them? And we start to look down on people that have too many children. You see what I'm saying? Everything is based on numbers in this world that we created here. It's all man-made. Our whole lives are determined by our financial performance. And it's this performance that affects one special magic number that decides if we get a house, if we get a car, or any other item. You know what that magic number is? Think about it. Your credit score, right? Your credit score. Everything is judged by this number. And you're told, wait a second, if you're irresponsible, your number dips, you can't get a house, you can't make any major purchases, which in turn, you can't get more credit in order to borrow, even in its craziness in itself. Oh, you're doing great, you're doing fantastic, you could borrow money. Matter of fact, not only can you borrow money, you could borrow a whole lot more. Ting, right? With that wink. But then you're borrowing, you get a higher credit score in order for you to borrow more, which you earn more, which you have to pay back more in interest with what you earn, and now you're in greater debt. That's the price? Is that what I'm looking forward to? I was speaking on the phone with a collector. I forgot about this old bill. You know, it happens, you don't think about it. And then the company, you know, let me tell you, a lot more companies are just sending their bills off to collection, man. They're not waiting. Before they used to wait a long time. I mean, they're sending that. If you don't make that payment, they are sending it right to collections. They are not messing around. So it was this bill I forgot. So I'm like, okay, I got to deal with this. So I finally got, after like probably the third call, I finally called back this person, and I was like, okay, how much is it? It was $85. It was a really small amount. Like, yeah. I heard you. I'm like, wait, they sent your joint to collections for $85? Yes, they did. They sent my joint to collections for $85. Right? So I was talking to the lady, and she was like, yeah, and she didn't want to even be bothered because it was such a small amount. It was an insignificant amount. So she's like, yeah, I'm like, you know what, man, let me call you right back. And she thought I was gonna blow her off. I was like, no, I'm doing something. I'll call you right back. Give me a little bit, and I'll take care of it. I just couldn't do it at the moment because I was busy, guy. Something came up in the moment I was dealing with. So I called her back. I was like, yeah, I'll pay it here. It's $85. You take it, close the account. She's like, yeah. And I was like, man, I swear to God, this is so silly that we have to do this because it's going to affect our credit. And she's like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I know. And even her response showed me that she felt the same way. And she actually said it. She even agreed with what I said. She said, you know what? I totally understand, and that is for like a whole separate conversation. And I knew from her voice that she wanted to say more, but she couldn't. So even the people that are collecting money, and this is just a job, they don't really care about, what is the deep meaning of, they're just there to get a check. And if it means to get a check that they have to collect money from other people, that's what they'll do. But even she did not agree with this whole thing of this credit score business, this invisible number. And our whole lives are controlled by this. We can't move. We can't budge. And it goes into your job, it goes into school, it goes into how much you're earning, how much you owe. And it's this balance that we have to meet. And it's funny, like the government always tells us, you know what, you got to figure out how to balance your checkbook. You got checkbook, right? We don't even deal with that anymore. You got to feel like how you're gonna just balance your money, because you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and be responsible, right? And they're telling us be responsible, yet we owe so much money as far as the country as a whole. It's called debt to GDP ratio, gross domestic product. How much we're worth, how much we owe. Right? I wish it was so much easier, right? And think about it in the sense like this and changing our mindset. I mean, I wish that school was just more than just 4 years. And you're like, what are you talking about? Isn't a school available? Yeah, you're kind of. But you're encouraged, your best years to go to school is when you come out of high school. So you're supposed to graduate at 18, be in college, and then you graduate 21. That's what you want to do. You did your 4 years. If you're a doctor, you got to make sure you got to set yourself up for another 4 years, whatever it is it takes, whatever, before you have your residency and all this business, right? But you're supposed to go to 4 years. I'm saying get your job. You're supposed to work your job, get your house, 2.5 kids, live a good life. That does not exist. It never happens that way. Because life is not rigid and categorized and you're moving into one space to the other like you're on some sort of conveyor belt in life. It doesn't happen like that. Sometimes people have to figure out what they're going to do well into their 30s. Or sometimes people do something because they're forced to do it. They owe this money. Now they're forced to get a job in order to pay back the debt that they owe the school. And it's not something they find out later. Wait, this is not what I want to do. They thought that's what they wanted to do. Like you're in sanitation. School should be something where it should be available to everyone. Not where you want to go to school and all of a sudden you fear owing $60,000, $80,000. And now you're compounding the debt that on top of the other debt that you owed, that's just life debt, right? You have credit cards and cars and all that stuff. But when you're having this midlife crisis and you're trying to figure out your life and you say, you know what, I want to go back to school, and you go back to school, but you also understand and have to be responsible that you're going to owe this money. once you go back to school to retrain yourself. It shouldn't be like that. You should be able to go to school at any time, a part of your life, when you decide to say, you know what, at 50 years old, at 48 years old, I no longer want to be in sanitation. I want to be a veterinarian. I should be able to join a school, a learning institution, say, I want to learn to be a veterinarian, and you can make that life transfer. That's what it should be about when it comes to school, or rethinking how our society operates. Just because you decide to do something else, it doesn't mean you have to take on this additional heavy debt. Or if you're unhappy, you should be able to pause for a second. Wait a second, that's not what I want to do. And you should make the life choice of making that transition. I think we can create something new, and it can be available to everyone. Again, it's going to take courage. It's going to take human will. It's going to take some ingenuity. It's going to take some bravery for people to say, you know what? We can no longer do things like that. Isn't that what this is all about when it comes to COVID? Changing the way we've been doing things in the past, but we were so caught up in the machine, in the rat race, in the gerbil hamster wheel, that we didn't give ourselves time to figure it out. I did a commercial and I called it The Great Reset, and I released it some time ago. And pretty much it was like, don't be sad, don't get depressed. I understand that people have died and we're going to have our mourning periods, but let's look at it in another way. It is the Great Reset. It is our opportunity to do something different with our lives, that we no longer have to go by the way it's been going for the last 50 years. We can choose something else. And I know everybody is feeling that way, because the lady I was speaking to that was collecting the money from me in order for me not to affect my credit score, she felt the same way. And every other person that I'm speaking to feels the same way themselves. They know something is wrong. They can feel it in their bones, but they are trapped. I've spoken to people and they've said, I don't know what to do next. They know something is wrong, but they don't know what to do. We have to do it together. Now, what is money? What is money to you? What is money to all of us? And I think it's this idea of money that it's a part of how we become entrapped. Money, we feel, has become something to be glorified, something to be revered. There's nothing that has more value than money. It is our centerpiece. It is our gold bullion. It is the gold brick, our cougarant, our North Star. We praise it like the bull at Wall Street. Or more like the bull when Moses freed his people? Interesting. The calf, the golden calf. Okay, sorry, my bad, not a bull. The golden calf, right? Whatever. Semantics, right? And you may say, no, you deal with money. Isn't that what Lyfeblood is about? So what are you talking about? But I see money differently. You know how I see money? I see money like dirt. Yeah, I see money like dirt. Money is dirt. What are you talking about, Nova? Money, what is dirt to you? What is dirt? It's a valuable thing, right? Isn't it valuable? Even the farmer's dirt is valuable, because what does dirt do? Enriched dirt, nutrient enriched dirt, that black, dark brown stuff that we walk over when we go to the park or when we go to a farm. But we know the value of dirt. It gives us food. In the agricultural business, industry, sector, life, it gives us grapes and apples and oranges and lettuce and red peppers and green peppers and potatoes and berries. All of these things, all of these foods sustain us, gives us the nutrients we need to be healthy, strong human beings. We understand dirt. We understand its value to us, to the earth. We understand why we need it. Do we praise it? Do we revere it? Do we idolize it? And you say, no, but I'm from the city. Why would I want to praise dirt for? I don't praise dirt. Farmers do it. It's more important to farmers. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do farmers stick dirt in their pocket wherever they go? And do they take that dirt out of their pocket in whatever place that they happen to be at, and they open up their palms and they see the dirt and they say, oh my God, it's beautiful dirt. And they rub their hands with it and they get it underneath their fingernails and underneath their cuticle, and they rub it deep so they can get into the ridges of the fingerprints and wipe it over their face and eat it and stick it in their ear. Do farmers do that? No, farmers don't do that. They till the soil. They infuse it with nutrients. They want the rain so it can give the hydration it needs, so the fruits and vegetables can suck up this water in order to grow as tall and as large and as green as it can. But they don't idolize it. Treat money like dirt. Use it, understand its value, and leave it where it is once you no longer need it in that moment. That is how you should see money. Treat money like dirt. Understand what I'm saying? Dirt has its value. It has its importance. But it is not idolized. Money has its value. Money has importance in the capitalist system that we live in. But we must not idolize it. Leave it where it is once it is used for what it is for. Understand what I'm saying? How can we reorganize who we are? What will it take? Are we going to go back to the world that we lived in the 19th century, in the 20th century? Are we going to treat COVID like the great reset that it is and reorganize ourselves as human beings? And what does that reorganization mean? Where do we see our value? What is most important? Our technologies is advancing, as I said, to the point where we are no longer a part of the equation of what we see as quote unquote work. Earning money to pay bills. It is happening right before your eyes. So before we get to that point, how are we going to reorganize the value that we have within ourselves? What is our value system? What is most valuable to us? Family, humans. And then once we see our value, we can take care of those things that are most important. Our health, our time, our need to improve and enrich our minds. That is what is most important. Nothing more. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Nothing is more important than who we are as human beings. There's no other species on this planet like human beings. And that is a gift that we must not squander away. Okay, let me get out of here. All right. Let's get into the next few songs. I don't know what it is. Let's get into it. Lovely music, and we'll get into the last segment of the show. Okay, then.
said you ain't seen them in a few years. Well, you got some integrity, and I got some inside of me. Yeah, we gotta figure it out if we're gonna let it dry. 'Cause I got some energy, and you got that synergy. And since we're together now, let's make some frenemies. 'Cause I keep looking at you. I was free at the time, but I really think I need you. Well, if you hold me,
Ooh, a GCOM exclusive.
We can be homies. Let you get to know me, like really know me. Well, if you hold me, you can show me slowly. We can be homies. Let you get to know me, like really know me. I don't know what to do, and you don't have a clue. But if I got with the crew, then who would I be to you? Well, I gotta let my feelings speak for themselves. And my intuition's telling me I should keep this to myself. And my heart is saying, why would you do that? We live one life at a time, and I'm gonna live mine. Take a leap of faith, see what ends up on your plate.
You know what you're rocking to?
Rocking with the best.
Only the best. GCOM Radio.
Monday morning laying in my bed, thinking about the hurtful things I said. I took the lead, therefore I'm misled. Should have spoke words from my heart instead. Tree leaves embrace sun rays as I lay. Thoughts makes raindrops hit my window pane. Seems like forever will end today. Can't right my wrongs with nothing left to say. It's like weeds and roses. Love or hate depends on what we've chosen. It's like weeds and roses. Love or hate depends on what we've chosen. Monday morning laying in my bed, thinking about the hurtful things I said. I took the lead, therefore I misled. Should have spoke words from my heart instead. Arguments replace love I once knew. Lies cover eyes searching for the truth. Warm intentions turns to words so cruel. Now matrimony is a lonely view. Yeah, it's like weeds and roses. Love or hate depends on what we've chosen. chosen. It's like weeds and roses. Love or hate depends on what we chosen.
Okay, folks, I'm back. Hopefully you love the songs that played on that you just heard. And yeah, man, I enjoyed the songs too. That's why we're playing them. All right, so before we get into the last segment of the show, and so we can end this the right way, let's get into news you need to know, and let's make it happen. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
Coffee improves fat burning during exercise. It's possible that coffee drinking can increase the fat burning in one's workout, according to a past study. Researchers found that 3 milligrams of caffeine can boost the rate of fat burning during aerobic exercise based on results from 15 male volunteers. During this 4-week study, 15 volunteers were given 4 tests in random order. A placebo was given at 8 a.m. and one at 5 p.m., and then a caffeine supplement at 8 a.m. and another caffeine supplement at 5 p.m. The results of the study shows how consuming caffeine 30 minutes prior to a workout can increase maximal fat oxidation. It also increased maximum oxygen uptake. Because the study involves a small sample of participants, researchers say don't jump too far to conclusions. But the results do suggest the validity of caffeine intake boosting fat-burning performance in the gym. Coronavirus released from a lab. Dr. Robert Redfield, an ex-CDC director, posed the possibility that the coronavirus escaped from a Wuhan lab. Many experts deny his statement. In an interview with CNN, Dr. Redfield claims the possibility of the virus getting out from a lab and that it is only his opinion regarding the origins of this deadly virus. He didn't offer any evidence to support his claim. Dr. Redfield says, quote, "I'm of the point of view that I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory, escaped. Other people don't believe that. That's fine. Science will eventually figure it out," unquote. Many other experts deny this and continue to support the idea that the virus originated from animals, specifically bats in China, and then to humans. Redfield continues saying the bat theory is flawed. Dr. Redfield states, quote, "Normally when a pathogen goes from zoonosis to humans, it takes a while for it to figure out how to become more and more efficient in human-to-human transmission. I just don't think this makes biological sense," unquote. Dr. Redfield wants to be clear that he doesn't think the virus is man-made, but just a natural escapee. Some experts have noted that SARS-CoV-2 is genetically different from other coronaviruses that was being studied in the Wuhan lab. And that is the news you need to know. All right, man. We're back. All right, so we're gonna get into the last segment. This is something that really kind of, it's close to me, and it's just a important topic, and then I'll go into it as best I can. I don't mean to bore you guys at this point if you're listening. DMX, man, this brother, man, serious struggle this brother's going through. I've seen him over the years. I remember him for all his music that he did before, and so the one song I never liked was that piano song, and you know what I'm. What your niggas want? Yeah, I just was it that song, that piano. I never liked that song. I think Jay was on that because I thought it was just like, why he sound like? Anyway, overall, I loved his energy, his vibe. How he spoke to the crowd when he had that moment. He was really bearing his soul. That one piece where he just broke down in front of the crowd, and you see that's what he was given, man. He was given his honesty. He was given his truth, and in that moment of truth, he had to cry. And whatever that was exposing that piece of the truth, you can't have a better artist like that can be real in front of thousands of people, man. There are a lot of artists, rap artists, that want to give their braggadocio, machismo on the stage, and they doing what they doing. But when an artist can bare his soul like that and show the world what his moment is, and right there in that second, I mean, he's a dope artist, man, to me, and he gave every inch of his spirit in every lyric that he said on his music. But also the thing that was DMX, he was a tortured individual, man. He was going through some issues all his life with addiction, with drugs, and we kind of heard about it over the years, especially as everybody, our artists' attention wanes over a moment, and when artists go through that moment where they're at their highest, and then they take a break, and then you see their demons come out, in real time. And they they deal with arrests, they deal with getting drunk and high and off of hard drugs like crack or heroin or something like that. You see these people have demons that they dealt with, and they're human beings, man. Before they were the favorite artists of the Billboard, the top 10, and they were people that have been dealing with pain and hurt, and they just, as I said, people stuff it down. And when you stuff it down, you never get rid of your problem. It just manifests itself in behavior. And you really saw that when he was talking with Talib Kweli on his show. I forgot the name of his show right now. Anyway, you see it. Go to Talib Kweli, and he was really bearing his soul, and he was talking about how, when he was 13 or 14 years old, a person that he looked up to, betrayed his trust and his love for him by giving him crack and weed. And then way before that, he was dealing with trauma, family problems, robbing, and that's what he said. That's all he wanted. That's all he liked. He wasn't into that extra hustle. Now he was a stick-up dude, and that's what he did. And him going through that hurt as a child shows me that the pain that we go through never goes away. And sometimes this pain that we go through, and especially from the hood, we kind of take that pain and we turn it into anger. And we want to be hard, yo. We want to be hard. We the hardest thing alive. Ain't nothing can beat us. We are impenetrable. We hard niggas. And we create this identity of being hard and cutthroat. And we the warriors of the hood. Because this is where we at. We take this trauma and it becomes a part of our identity. And it's a defense mechanism. A defense against the grit, the rough and tumble world. The world as we know as the hood. The disenfranchised, the lost, the forgotten. And we just want to walk up and down the street knowing that nothing can touch us. Because we've been hurt before. And it struck our soul deeply. And we know we don't want to feel that pain again. So we build up this shield. And we do it through anger and aggression. And all it is the pain that we are feeling from our past. And him as a 13-year-old, when he was looking up the person that he most cherished at the time, took advantage of that. And started him on a path of a lifetime of addiction. And right now he's fighting for his life in the White Plains Hospital. I remember when I was a little younger, and we were taking care of this. For the moment, this kid came over because it was a friend's kid, and she brought her kid, but along with her kid, she brought a friend of hers with her, who also had a kid, and they came over, and they were dealing with the kids there in a home. And this kid had a problem. He kept on taking toys. He kept on interrupting the other kids having a good time. I think this kid was 8 or 9 years old at the time, right? And it got to the point where it was wild. This kid, I think a toy or present was given to one kid. He saw it, he got jealous of it, and he took the toy. I'm like, man, you can't do that, man. You can't take something that's not yours. And the kid was just mad. He was just mad. And he felt like he was being chastised. And I'm talking to this little boy. I'm like, what's wrong, man? What's going on? And he was just mad. And he was just had his arms crossed. I'm like, yo, what's wrong? And I'm trying to reach this kid. I mean, something's got to be going on, man. What's up, little brother? What's the deal? And he couldn't say, and he was just quiet, and he was tight-lipped, and his lips were pursed, and I kept on, and I was putting my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, yo, brother, what's up? Come on, talk to me. The only way I can help you if you talk to me. Talk to me, young man. What's the deal? What's going on with you? And to the point where I was like, my voice was exactly like this. I was like, what's up? I want to help you. And it was that moment when he looked into my eye. And he saw my sincerity, and it broke that shield. It broke that hard outer surface that he was giving off. And I really, honestly, I can't remember what he said, but it was a moment where he was being honest with me. I was like, I just wanted to do whatever. And I spoke to him. I'm like, no, that's not the way to go. Go with it, young brother. This is how you do it. That's not, you got to let other people enjoy what they get. And I had a moment, an exposed moment where this child was just being honest with me as a grown man. And I think I was in my 25, 28. And this young boy was just trying to, he was holding on to something. And I knew that one moment that I had with this kid wasn't going to be enough to break that behavior, because of course he was just there for the day and he would go off. But it's reminiscent of what DMX, it brought back, this moment in time brought back memories. Excuse me. This moment in time relates to what I see in DMX. This man had so much struggle, and I see that inner child. I see that inner child that didn't have a person there that he can trust to talk with sincerely and say what emotions he's having. Because when you're always dealing with pain and people being the source of the pain, and it's just not people outside your home, it could be your own family that's the root of this pain. After a while, he becomes hard and feels the world did not give him a fair chance to be a little boy. And here it is, DMX as a kid, how that trust was broken, and what led him to this point. He didn't have a chance to talk to someone. And what I see back in the day is someone being extra hard and be like, nah, nigga, you. I don't see that anymore as who we are or what this person is. I see that as pain. And this person is screaming for help. Him wanting to rob or knock somebody over, or having a gun and say, no, I'm going to get mine. Because when you in the hood and you have nothing, all you want is a fair chance at life. And because you were dealt with the cards that you have and you didn't have anything, you want even more. And you fuck that. That guy on TV that has a fancy car and the money and the women, all that, I want that. Why can't I have that? And you get it any way you can. And DMX was lucky enough to have a skill that he used that raw energy and picked up that pen and he wrote. And that aggression and that fire and that passion that came through his words. And you felt it. But that was only a part of X. Sometimes that one thing that we need in order to break that stride that feeling, that behavior. It's just someone to be there, man. To talk with an adult like that young child that I spoke to. They just want someone to believe in, someone to care for them, to love them. And so much of us are going through that right now. Dealing with our demons, the baggage of our harsh times. We never really get a chance to deal with it. We just bottle it up and push it down. And it never really goes away. And everybody deals with pain differently. Some people can know how to just kind of compact it and put it into a dark corner of our minds. And other times our pain manifests in our behavior. That's why mental health is so important. And I feel that mental health clinics should be like grocery stores on every corner. Who do we go to when we need help? Who do we go to? We don't. We don't have an ear. We don't have a person to talk to hear our struggle and what we're going through. And we need that, especially in poor communities. And that's a part of what I was talking about, where we're going to be human focused for the future. And that is a part of our change. That's why I put so much emphasis on these new technologies and how it's making our lives better and faster and more convenient. But we're not dealing with us. That's going to be an inevitability once we are no longer needed as a necessary cog in the function of the society. All we are left with is us staring back at us in the mirror. Well, all we have is time. At some point, we'll have nothing else to look at but us. For hours, for days, for months. What are we going to do with our time? That's why we have to start our change today. All right. Folks, thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you guys listening to every word that I have to say. And if I think of it and I want to talk about it, I want to share it. And if you are with me at this point, at the end of the show, thank you for listening. And this is all a part of Lyfeblood. It's all a part of who I am as a human. And I see the writing on the wall. And this is where we have to get to really reorganizing who we are in this society, in this world. So I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate it. Sign up to Lyfeblood.com, become a member. Let's figure out what your passion is. Let's build it. Let's help each other financially. It's just $1 per month. Let's share with each other and help us achieve our dream. And there's many branches to this tree, and there's so many places that Lyfeblood wants to go, but it's only going to work with what you contribute with each other and join in on the conversation. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me for this show. I'll see you guys next week with some new music. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Yo, check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. For the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go-round. From right here to your town. We out.